at this day and age, 1,500 feet. I don't know. 1,500 enough for you?
Probably not enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not enough for me.
This is a reminder that the content covered in this podcast should not be construed as personal financial advice. If you need any financial advice, consult us directly for tailored solutions to meet your needs.
Hi, welcome to today's episode of True Talk. My name is Tian Chong and
I'm Rachel.
today we have a special guest. He's 8 years in doing financial planning in the business and also a certified financial planner. And Sean, welcome.
Yay! Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about there's no need to save for retirement, just depend on CPF.
So CPF, or short for Central Provident Fund, right, is one of our Singapore's pillar for retirement. So this topic can be sensitive because there are people who are for CPF and there are people who are against CPF. Okay, but of course today we are not being political. We're not going to say is it are we for the government or anything. But let's talk about CPF in general. Okay, so the answer to that question, whether is it enough, whether do we need to still save for retirement if we have CPF, right? Okay, the answer is always depends lah. So it depends on what kind of lifestyle do we want to have when we retire, and also it depends, are we able to meet the so-called retirement sums when we retire? So the answer is very complicated. It really depends.
Yeah, it depends on each individual, how much they are taking home, how much is contributing to the CPF, and whether they, as a self-employed, do they do their own top-up and all. So, but of course, we want to help our listener and our viewer to understand how CPF can help them. And when we talk about CPF, right, we realize that a lot of people out there, there is still a lot of people out there who don't know how CPF structure pays. But there is also a group of people who really are aware well of that lah. Yeah. So let's talk about the CPF. How CPF actually prepare for retirement. You see, CPF primarily mission is to help people to save for retirement and prepare for retirement. That's why 3 accounts are set up with OA, which is for housing when you are old, you have a place to stay. Special account where by 55 go to a retirement account were used for your retirement needs, and then of course MediSave for your medical thingy lah. So these 3 accounts. So do you work on building up your CPF yourself, and if yes or no, why?
Okay, maybe I can share as on my own personal basis. So as a financial advisor, I'm self-employed. So which means I do not have the employer contribution portion. So everything, whatever that is in my CPF is self-contributed. So I do it under the voluntary contribution scheme. And why I do it, a couple of reasons. The first reason is for retirement. Okay, so other than whatever instruments that I'm investing for my own retirement, CPF also serve as a matter of diversification. And another important reason why I do CPF contribution is also for tax relief. So of course there is a maximum of how much we can contribute into our CPF, and ideally with proper planning. So which means we make sure that we have enough cash flow and things like that. Ideally we want to max our CPF contribution.
So you vouch for CPF? I mean, as in for your retirement.
Yes. Okay. I do it myself. Yeah.
Right. So I think for the tax planning portion, we actually cover a bit with Ken in the other episodes, right? So we will not go too deep into tax. Yeah. So we also understand that the CPF actually have a different scheme payout. So to help our listener understand a bit more, okay, for those who are not sure or don't know, the CPF actually have 3 payout scheme in basic retirement sum, full retirement sum, and enhanced retirement sum. So each pay an individual of a different amount. in time value of money concepts, the amount changes accordingly year to year, based on the amount that they will pay out who turn 55 in today, 2023, it's around $800 plus minus for the basic retirement sum, and around 1,006 for around full retirement sum for those who turn 55 this year, right? So these are the few accounts, and they also pay out differently, I think, for the basic payout level, premium payout. Of course, you can save more for your next generation, and you have the escalating mode. So with such, what do you think? Which one is the best that you feel it's good for, yourself, or anything that you think that what kind of amount, which ideally which one you should hit, which one you want to hit, or which mode of payout you wish to have?
Maybe first, let's talk about the idea of CPF is also a way of forced savings mandated by the government. And the thing is, when there are such system for us to accumulate money, it gives us a better chance to have some sort of retirement money at the end. So that's the first good thing that we must acknowledge. And we're talking about which scheme is the best for us. I think the other thing is also to see, are we able to reach the scheme?
Right.
And of course, if we can meet the highest scheme, which is the enhanced scheme, and then we have the options lah. Of course, so then we have the option of which scheme do we want to pick, etc. So for example, let's say someone who has enough CPF funds accumulated by 55, right? So and then the question is, so do I want to put? Is that all the money I have for retirement? Do I want to put all with the CPF? Or do I want to just do full retirement sum, and then the rest I take out to diversify elsewhere for other reasons? So it really depends on the person's method of planning, risk profile, because maybe for example, let's say if I were able to do enhanced scheme, but I just choose to do full retirement sum. Okay, then the surplus, I'm a bit more adventurous. I want to invest more into more adventurous instruments, buying into more adventurous stocks or whatever. So it really depends on risk profile. So then again, there's no right or wrong, but I would like to say that it's always good to have options lah.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely. When you have more money, you actually have
yes,
options.
you can do a lot more things.
Yeah. So, have you think about this question is actually for Rachel. Right. Have you think about topping up your CPF account? What current thoughts on that?
I've been working full time for like 9-10 years, so it just goes out without me knowing, right? But now that I am self-employed, I find it very hard to like take a portion of my money and put somewhere else. I just want the cash. For now lah. But I will eventually put it in lah, because I can see the benefits of it.
Right. I actually, personally, on the first few years of my career working, I didn't really have looked into CPF contribution back then. Until then, think about buying house. It's actually very good, you put your money there and you get tax relief. At the same time, you're able to buy a house from there. I mean, of course, when you sell the house in the future, you have to put it back due to the interest rate lah. But then again, but if you're going to buy house again, you still need money, so it's like a,
might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
So I personally do. When I realized that, because as a self-employed, we can actually contribute 37,740 to our 3 accounts, which will split accordingly to the allocation rate. Accordingly, currently based on, because I'm 33, so 35 and below, the OA contribution is actually 0.621. So for every $1,000 that you put in, we get $600, $621 to the OA account. So that actually helps to save for housing in sense people probably don't see it. Yeah. So with that, I think that helps to save for my house as well. Yeah, correct.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So there's basic retirement sum, right? What happens if we don't even hit the basic?
Okay.
Then, is it just stuck there forever?
I believe even if we don't meet the basics retirement sum, right, we will still be able to draw down these CPF monies.
But until you finish it.
Correct. So it likely won't be under the CPF life scheme lah.
Yep.
But end of the day, the entire CPF is meant for our retirement, so it will still benefit our retirement somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the payout.
It will just be lesser lor than the
Right. But is
the
there
basic.
still like a cap at the payout amount?
Yeah. So basically, whatever left in your RA account, if you don't hit the basic retirement sum, basically you will draw down until the money depleted lah. Yeah. So it's like it's not like a pay until you die kind of thing.
Right. But I cannot just take it all at one lump sum, cannot.
No, because the only thing that you can take out is when you reach 55 and you can draw $5,000 out.
Or 5,000.
So it's like welcome to semi-retirement, and then they give you take 5,000.
5,000.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
I have a point to comment on this part. The thing that we were asking if we can take out the entire amount, right?
Yeah.
So you see the idea of CPF or any schemes that sort of forces us to save and use for the future, right? There's always a danger when we are able to withdraw the entire amount. Okay, of course, shiok lah, right? Hey, I got a lot of money, I can do whatever I can spend, right? But the problem is, a lot of times people overspend or they squander away the money too early. And you see, as our population is aging, right? We are living longer. So a lot of time we finish the money before we reach the end of life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then there's another problem that everybody has to deal with, the family, ourselves, or the society have to deal with. So the idea of having this slowly draw down monthly method it sounds painful, but it's actually important. So it's very important, yeah.
Okay, now I'm just thinking about like if monthly like I take out like $300.
Right, so sad.
So this goes back to
Planning.
proper planning when we are still working or as early as possible to make sure that we have enough retirement money for our ideal retirement lifestyle.
Right.
So it's very important. Yeah.
There's one way you can withdraw your money out if you hit the full retirement sum.
I die alone.
No, if you hit the full retirement sum.
Oh, right, full retirement sum.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you hit the full retirement sum by 55 and you have on top of that anything surplus like Sean mentioned earlier,
Right.
then we of course can take our money out for, if you
Right.
want to use for whatever requirement lah. Yeah.
I mean, my point of view was to those who like never hit even the basic.
Yeah. So there is still a group of people who doesn't hit the amount. Probably I would think that because over the past decade or so or a few years, they at least for our parents probably, or just my parents doesn't really say like is a believer of CPF. Yeah, and so then they don't, because they are self-employed, so basically they don't really do much contribution other than the Medisave portion. Yeah. So I would say CPF is really good and it's also better for our generation. You see, on a side note, if say myself, if I were to do CPF contribution until I pay myself until I die, I can actually lighten my son's burden and all in the future. So I think that is really good. Yeah. So then now that I know that CPF actually have such benefit, I talked to my mom about it and help my mom to actually work on the CPF portion. Yeah.
Okay. Before we round up, maybe any last tips and tricks for maximizing CPF other than the one that you mentioned just now?
Oh, right. I would think that if possible, we can actually maximize the first 40K as soon as possible. Everyone should do that if given an option that you can do so, because CPF actually give you 5% for the first 40K.
Oh.
Like a
Special account, right?
Yeah,
Special
it's like a
account.
really fully,
that's
like
good,
it's
that's
like a citizen. So 5% with no risk. So ideally, we should max out that 5% as soon as possible, because you see, the money does compound and help you to generate more money in the future as soon as you top it up or whether you transfer it. Yeah, but of course, each individual have a different finance, and ideally you should still sit down with a financial advisor to talk to how much to transfer and how much to top up and stuff and so on. So that can come into the tax planning portion and also to help them maximize their current portfolio. Yeah. Right.
Better go back and check whether.
Right. Talk to your financial advisor, yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Yourself?
Yeah. We should. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
I think that's all we have today. Yeah.
Today, yeah. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
So
Thanks
much
for
Pleasure,
having
pleasure.
Thanks for having you. Having us. No.
Thanks for inviting.
Thanks for inviting. Yes. Okay.
And as usual, we hope this helps you.
Yes.
Hope you found it informative and helpful. And as usual, if you have any questions, just drop us a DM in any of our social media. And if you're listening to this via audio podcast, make sure to give us a 5 star.
5 star. Yes, 5 star again. Right.
Okay, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.